everyone. Welcome to the 27th episode in our AI and You podcast series. Today is Monday, December 21st, 2020, and I'm your host, Vicar Saidi. I'm a computer scientist and engineer, a lecturer, and a consultant. I'm also the author of several books. My most recent book is about artificial intelligence and is titled The Genome Affair. The Genome Affair is a work of speculative fiction. It examines what the world might be like if some of the more extraordinary capabilities forecast to be realized in AI over the next 20 to 30 years were actually realized today. Given the growing list of frightening existential threats humankind now faces, the book pays particular attention to the impact AI is expected to have on world affairs. The book is available in ebook format for those who prefer to read on a digital device, but it's also available in a high-quality paperback edition. The Genome Affair is available on Amazon, so I hope you'll take the time to read it and to leave a review. Amazon book reviews are very helpful for writers. I'm very interested in how science and technology influence world affairs and the big questions facing humankind. Studying at the confluence of the four academic disciplines of human history, political thought, science, and technology offers a deep understanding and teaches important lessons of how advances in human endeavor have influenced and impacted civilization. I'm available to give talks on artificial intelligence and its related technologies, and on the impact AI is expected to have, or is already having, on our world. If you'd like to get in touch with me to arrange a web-based event or consulting meeting with your company or organization, you can find my contact info in the podcast notes below. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share it if you find the content valuable. Thank you. And now, on to today's podcast. In our last podcast, episode 26, I spoke about a major upheaval within the ethical AI team at Google. In today's podcast, episode 27, I'll be talking about how artificial intelligence and cyber espionage is a growing risk and a significant vulnerability for governments and enterprises around the world. Let's get started. About a week ago, a major cyber attack was detected within a number of U.S. government agencies, including the Department of Energy, which oversees the U.S. nuclear weapons network. The cyber attack, now known as Sunburst, has gained entry into nearly 18,000 agencies and enterprises across the world. It has done so by exploiting a vulnerability in Orion, an IT network management application developed by the Texas company SolarWinds that's widely in use throughout hundreds of thousands of world-leading organizations and governments. The attack is the worst act of cyber espionage to ever strike the U.S., where 80% of the companies and organizations affected by Sunburst reside. Within the U.S., most of the attacks are concentrated around the federal government and its various agencies and departments. The malicious software was cleverly embedded in a recent upgrade to the Orion network management application and innocuously proliferated from there via legitimate channels. Although a very distressing event of as yet unknown and likely profound consequence, it was an incident I found very intriguing, since a very similar incident takes place in my recent book, The Genome Affair. Most experts are convinced that Russia is the state actor most likely responsible for the attack, which may have begun as early as March of 2020, as upgrades to SolarWinds network management were taking place across the world. These experts believe that Cozy Bear, or APT-29, a Russian entity closely linked to the country's military, was responsible for the security breach, and were the same actor responsible for similar attacks during the Obama administration. They believe that it could be a long time before we understand the full scope and impact the attack has had on government agency operations and on the countless businesses that use this network management capability. Other vital U.S. agencies known to have been compromised in the Sunburst attack include the State Department, the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of the Treasury, and the Commerce Department. Although there has been little comment from the outgoing administration on the nature or consequence of the attack, the incoming U.S. administration has pledged to act forcefully and in unison with its alliance partners by imposing severe economic and financial penalties on those found responsible. Meanwhile, many critics have complained about the language used by authorities. Terms such as high degree of sophistication and planning as a way to deflect responsibility for their failure to identify and prevent this extraordinary act of espionage. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency has warned that understanding and addressing the Sunburst attack will be highly complex and challenging. It went on to say that critical infrastructure has been damaged, federal agencies and private sector companies had been compromised, and that the damage posed a grave threat. CSIA believes the hack began in at least March of 2020, and those responsible had demonstrated patience, operational security, and complex tradecraft. Given how long this particular espionage event has been underway, the volume of sensitive government secrets, financial data, individual records, and trade secrets that have been compromised will be substantial. A formidable challenge now is that almost all governments around the world rely upon the network security capabilities and expertise of U.S. tech giants. They do not have their own internal security software capabilities, so this has increasingly become a significant area of risk and vulnerability for sovereign governments and enterprises. In this most recent incident of cyber espionage, a group of state-financed hackers successfully modified a small piece of code in the Orion network management software system and then entered tens of thousands of otherwise well-secured, often impenetrable computer network systems through a very common practice of installing network upgrades. Brian Lord, the former Deputy Director of Cyber Operations at the UK intelligence agency GCHQ, believes that this particular access tactic is the most concerning issue in this entire episode. The national intelligence dimension of the breach is also extremely worrying. Professor Alan Woodward at the University of Surrey in the UK believes this may be one of the most significant acts of penetration into Western governments since the Cold War, and is likely to increase tensions in an increasingly acrimonious West versus authoritarian Eastern regime standoff, and re-escalating Cold War. Artificial intelligence can be used to dramatically enhance the capabilities of malicious actors as they seek to exploit vulnerabilities in state and enterprise information systems. AI can be used to process vast quantities of data as it attempts to match IDs and passwords, or to break through firewalls and expose network vulnerabilities. It can then be used to stealthily evade malware detection software in the host as it meticulously collects and transfers sensitive data to alien computers. It can make subtle, undetected changes that can alter functions and processes, and can perform limitless other modifications or additions to serve the interests of a malicious actor. But if carefully applied, AI can also serve as a valuable defense against malicious actors. It's a game that will only escalate as AI agents increase in their sophistication, and knowledge of their development and use increases their availability to more actors. Thank you for spending some time with me. I'm trying to follow the TED Talk format, and so I'm keeping these podcasts under 20 minutes. Let me know what you think. I hope you'll find these insights into artificial intelligence helpful, and I hope you'll read my new book, The Genome Affair. It's on Amazon. Until next time, then, this has been the AI and You podcast with author Vikar Saini.